All right, so tonight I will be keeping it short and sweet. And honestly, it was kind of perfect for this topic because as I was trying to kind of plan it out, like what I was thinking about saying, I'm like, there's just really not a lot to it. So tonight I'm going to be talking about kind of lumping a few things together. Sorry, I'm in an awkward place, but that light is, we'll do that. Um, but I'm kind of lumping a few things together because I feel like everything plays together in our job in this business anyways. So, but I really had on my mind to talk about belief because of a few things. For one, it takes belief, like to stick with this at all, to do anything. And two, because it is my biggest hold back, if that's what I want to call it. So, and I still struggle with it. I can sit here and tell you all the things, but day in and day out, like that is my biggest like thing is just that mindset thing and getting out of your own head and believing in yourself. So I just kind of want to touch on that tonight. And then we're also gonna talk just a little bit about building confidence in talking about coaching and sharing about the preferred customer plan, whatever, because again, that's something that I've been working on a lot this year, and I do feel like it's starting to kind of compound, but it's definitely a shift. So first of all, how do we even build belief in this business? And really it comes down to doing the things, right? Before we even talk about business, how do we build belief at all in what we're trying to sell and what we're trying to help people with? We have to do it ourselves, right? And this is something that we could talk about every week. I feel like I do talk about it every week, but that's literally what it takes, and that's the basics. And so we have to be doing this. It is our job as a coach to do a workout program, and not just do it when we feel like it, but to do the calendar and do it from start to finish, take our before and after pictures and get results from that. It's our job to do that. And I think it's taken me a while even. I've always been pretty consistent, but I think it still took me probably at least a couple years to really get a good flow with that and to realize in between programs, I should be doing another program, even if I'm not going to finish it. And so building that belief is doing the workouts. Pick a nutrition program. Don't just pick it and do it when you feel like it. Again, follow it to a T. Get your own results so you know that it's possible. You have proof that it works, and do that, right? So like we did containers even before I was a coach. I'm like an all-in girl, and I was all about the nutrition and learning that. And so we did the containers, we did Shift Shop, and we followed the meal plan exactly like it said. I bought all the groceries. It was like probably more money than we ever spent on groceries. We bought the flank steak and everything. And I was creative with how we made it, and we did it. And it showed me like what is possible. So it is our job to do that and to drink our shake and to do all of those things, but not only to do it, but to share that and to get those results. So that is like the top thing of how we're going to build belief in our business, because then we're so excited. We see we see how it's working. And then of course, we're going to start sharing that. And the more that you prove to yourself this works, the more confidence you build in it. Okay. And so you might be new. Like I know we have new people that are probably going to watch this, and maybe you don't have a lot of belief in it yet, but you can borrow my belief. You can borrow Donna's belief or Emily's belief, because people who've been here a while, and ask people for their before and after pictures. Maybe you don't have yours yet, but how is that shake helping you in the first week or two that you've been coaching already? It's probably doing something for you if you're paying attention. Look into those things. How is the community helping you already? Do you feel like you're checking in more? Do you feel more supported? So think about those things. And those are all ways to be doing to build that belief that in turn builds your confidence to where you will want to talk about it more. You just will. And so the other side of that is that a lot of times we don't start with confidence. And I read this and I've shared it. I don't know who I've talked to it about, but the last book that I read, I finished it. Oh my word, what was it called? Fear is Not the Boss of You. It was so good. And a whole couple of chapters was about courage and confidence. And you really don't have confidence until you have experience. So you have to go out on a limb with your little bit of courage, and you have to trust that and go get it, right? And then that's how you're going to build confidence. So don't tell me that, well, I'm not confident, so I can't do that. Neither was I. Nobody is when they start, but you've got to listen to that gut feeling, that little voice in your head. That is your courage, okay? Take it, run with it, and do it scared. And that is courage. It doesn't mean that you're going to feel ready. It doesn't mean that you're going to know what you're going to say. And then, but as I said, that courage, then you go do it, you get some experience, and then you're like, oh, I didn't die. I did that. I signed somebody up. Okay, let's do it again. And that slowly builds your confidence. Oh no, okay. I thought my notes were going away. So kind of keep that in mind. Courage first, then build your confidence. And again, that confidence from your experience is going to build your belief. So it all goes in together. And then I also love to add the word grit into the mix, because I have had to use grit and dig into my why so hard, because I have desperately almost quit a few times, at least like a few serious times in my business where like we moved and I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. It's so nice to actually not be working. You know, like I've had all these different moments of like emotion and things going through my head and things happening in life to where it would have been easier to quit. But then I have to go back to my why. I have to go back to the people that I've already helped and be like, well, what would I be doing if I just dropped all of them, right? And I promised them that I was going to be their coach and stay committed. So that why is so important to know, because if you don't know it, you will quit and you're not going to have that grit. It's going to build the grit, which builds the belief, which builds the confidence. And then that kind of brings us all to like talking about coaching, is that it still is hard. So maybe I should say this before I go into that. I think for me, like I'm just learning and transitioning into talking about coaching as easily as I share about workouts. So if you're new, you're probably only talking about the workouts because that's kind of what you're learning yourself and that's what you're going through. But once like, so I definitely went through that feeling of like, this is hard. You know, like, and you're learning your own voice and how to invite people and how to run your own group and all of those things. But we want to, if you can bypass like how I did it and do it all at once, because it is an all-in-one thing, right? And especially if you're a new coach and a new customer all at once, great. Like find more people that can start just like you did. So, but anyways, it's like we get confident finally with one way, which is I know what I did. And Donna, maybe that's kind of, I don't know if that's what you're struggling with too, like to where it is smooth sailing to get customers, right? And to talk about it and to share about it. And it's easy to talk about workouts in my posts. And so just like we were a new coach and we had to learn how to do that with workouts, now we have to shift our thinking and be like, okay, we're good there. Of course, keep doing it. But now we have to reteach ourselves so that it becomes just as natural to bring up coaching. It doesn't have to be icky. Like everyone feels like, I'm going to be salesy, I'm going to be icky. They're going to think I'm trying to like warp them into, I don't know. But so that's kind of what I've been working on too the last year, or like, or maybe I said in January I was doing that, but I probably didn't. So for sure the last maybe, I don't know, 6 months, I don't even know what it is now. But so shifting that thinking to where the more that we do it, the more, the easier it's going to be, the more confidence we will build in it, and the more natural it becomes. But it just takes that, like, again, go back to your why with coaching, right? So we kind of, maybe you have two whys with your health and then with coaching. Go back to that, sit with it, remind yourself of it. If it takes every morning, then do that. and then go tell people about it. And I'm saying that I'm preaching to myself. I hope you know that, because I'm like not a top recruiter. I'm definitely getting better, but I don't want to speak here like I'm an expert or anything. But yeah, remember that why, and then, you know, be relatable just like you would on your workouts or with the community, how those things are helping. How is coaching helping you? Same thing. Like it really, and so lately I've been sort of transitioning to sharing in stories. For a long time, I'm like, how do I talk about coaching in my stories without sounding like, hey, come join my team, you know? And I'm still learning that, but I'm learning it by doing it and by like adding little snippets on my story post, you know, and making sure that I have one post a week that talks about coaching in some way or how it's helped me. But again, I am using my courage right now because I don't have as much confidence in that area. Excuse me. And then the more that you talk about it in your stories, it's easier to start inviting to that because they realize that you have something that you're, you know, oh, she's on a team. Oh, she is working a business. I mean, you guys, I've had people watch my stories for like 3 or 4 years and they're like, what do you sell again? And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I feel like I do a good job of telling you that. I had that happen, not kidding, a few weeks ago or something. And I've invited her, I've sent her information. She almost signed up, like over and over years. And so, you know, but the point of that isn't to call this person out. It's like, you don't know how well people are paying attention, but so the more that you put that out there, the more that they're going to notice, maybe not even notice what you're doing, but they're going to notice like, oh, something's up, you know, like she's up to something. What is it? And maybe intrigue them more. So, and then as far as like, say you're already talking, you know, you've already given them the information, you know, they kind of want to sign up. And then when you're at that point where I think Donna was talking about, you know, like, well, they didn't say yes to coaching or whatever, personal, oh my word, preferred customer. I just say PC in my head. I'm like, that's not what it's called. So I keep it really casual. And I feel like this is maybe an opinion. So I feel like you're going to find your own way that's going to work for you, because Jessica would probably say something completely different. Like she thinks everybody should be a coach right away. But then I've heard Kim Fitzpatrick say that she doesn't start anybody as a coach. She starts them as a challenger so they know. So I really think there's no right or wrong way, but you do need to find the way that works for you, right? And I also think that doesn't mean that you should be afraid. Like, don't just do what Kim does because that sounds easy to you. If it sounds easy and it sounds scary to invite to coaching, then you should probably do the scary thing, right? Like, it's probably not scary for Jessica to talk about it. So I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. But when you're bringing it up, I have just started tagging on, and I didn't even do this for a really long time. I send the message about what they get for the challenge pack if they ask for information. And then I tell them, I like to be very clear about what's a recurring price so they're not panicking because everyone does. So I'm like, Body and Shakeology are going to renew unless you cancel it. And then I send one more paragraph and I don't even know what it says because I copy and paste it, but you know, and I say something like, there's also the option to become a coach right away or a discount member, So find your own wording with that. But I've started throwing that in at the end because then they already know that's something, even if they didn't really pay attention or they don't want it, it's at least there. And I did my job to say like, this is an option if at any point. So maybe that can help. And like mostly I have people that are like, no, I don't want to do that yet. And so no pressure, you know, and then say, well, hey, like if you are interested, let's just pop you into our coach sneak peek, you know, or say, I have this recording from the other night. Do you want to just listen to it? That way, you know what it's like in the next 30 days if you decide to sign up after you know what I'm saying, after they get the challenge pack. So, and I've probably done that a lot more lately. Then it's just like so casual. And again, the more that you do it, you'll build that confidence. It's just going to come out really naturally. And it may or may not be attracting working coaches. So maybe like take this with a grain of salt. But as far as just getting more comfortable about talking about it, I think it would be a really good place to start with it, right? There was one more thing in my head and then I just forgot it. So, but anyways, so run those sneak peeks. I know for our team, I always have one open, and like a lot of times no one shows up for the actual live thing, but I make the videos and then I tag people in it randomly as they come, because really what's important is them getting the information. It's not about them making me have a great, exciting event, right? So show them that, or save the recording from one of those Zooms. Again, like even if the what the heck is coaching Zoom isn't happening that week and they're interested, do not make them wait another month for that Zoom. Get the recording of the one now. It doesn't matter which month it's from. It's still the information. Or you can even, I don't know if you guys have that video. There might be one in the coach office. I haven't looked in so long, but I have the video that Jessica shares on that Zoom. If you've seen it, I just have that link. You could probably ask her and she has it. I save that in my notes. If people are from Instagram and they don't have Facebook and they don't want to be on Facebook, or I don't want to send them the 30-minute Zoom. I see the chat. I'll look at it in a second. I think Emily answered it though. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a second. But anyways, you know, like, so have that link ready. And that video is only 10 or 12 minutes, I think. So I offer that, but I would prefer, if they have Facebook, I prefer to put them. So yes, I run my own sneak peeks. I kind of started, I don't know, last summer I did a couple, like with some friends when we hit Diamond, or we're doing a Diamond group or something. That's when we kind of learned to run our own. And then I didn't really do it. And then I recommitted to doing it most months. But like I've kind of found that I don't have a huge influx of people every month, and the videos are really still, you know, relative. So like I think I did one in July and I kept that up for a couple months. Then I did one in September and I decided not to do one this month because it was the same. And then the Zoom was yesterday or this week because she changed it. Mine was going to be this Monday, but anyways, all that to say, yeah, like have that available. And that doesn't have to be anything fancy. I've run ones with other people and they're really cool. But sometimes, like, my personality is simple and I don't care about prizes and I don't care about interaction in the group. And so probably I'm attracting other people that also don't care about that. That's kind of a blanket assumption. So that's not always true. But like I said before, it's more important to get them the information than it is to be fancy, right? Like that's me. So I have that page open and I just, as soon as someone says like, yeah, I want information, I would rather put them in there because I share my story a little bit. And I think it's just good for them to hear us talking, you know, like they want to sign up with us. The video is really great. And like I do send that to people, especially through on Instagram. But if they're on Facebook, I would prefer to put them in there because they can hear me talking about it. They can hear me talking about, you know, like limiting beliefs that I had and misconceptions and things that the video doesn't cover so much. It's just more personal. So anyway, let me just make sure. I think we're about done. I said 15 minutes and I'm at 20. So, but just the bottom line is just it really comes back to that belief and your why and building that experience. That experience is up to you. Like no one else can do that for you. And that courage, you have the courage because you said yes to coaching in the first place. So you have it, you just have to lean into it, right? And you have to keep going. And then you will build the confidence for yourself. So, but just believe in it so much that it has helped you. And so it's going to help them too, right? And just like if anyone listened to that video of like, Julie Boris, is that her name? How do you stay motivated? And she said, how do I not? That was just like the perfect answer. Because sometimes I feel like that too. I'm like, I don't know. I just do the things because, you know, and so that's kind of like, yeah, the same with the belief. Like, how can you not believe in it if you're proving it to yourself? Don't keep it to yourself. So, all right, that is all I have for you.